All right, welcome to the Irish Breakdown. I'm Shaun Davis over at Irish Breakdown. I am the recruiting analyst, and we have 2023 commit Drayk Bowen from Andrean High School over in the Hoosier State with us right here in Irish Breakdown. Drake, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
So let's get right to it. How are you doing? How's your family doing coming out of the holidays? Did you guys enjoy yourselves?
Yes, sir, we did. We just really stayed home, hung out with family, and then that's been about it.
So you're getting ready to go into baseball season. You guys are the defending state champs. Feeling any pressure being they thinking about repeating as state champs?
It's pretty difficult to do that twice. So we're just coming into practice every day, working on our swings, pitching, whatever it is that we need to do. And so that's just how we've been practicing, not really thinking like obviously thinking about the state championship, working toward that goal, but right now it's just one day at a time, one practice at a time.
So you're definitely a workout warrior. We see that just following you on social media. Does the workout change from football to baseball?
Yeah. So right now, usually this is when I start like trying to get more muscle, get bigger, stronger. So then during baseball, it'll become more like explosive, not as much weight stuff, so my arms not getting hurt and stuff like that.
So going into Notre Dame, you intend to play both sports, correct?
Yes, sir.
So have you had that breakdown discussion with Matt Bayless and the strength and conditioning coach for the baseball team on how that transition will take place in the spring?
So I haven't had that conversation with them yet, but I've had it with the coaches from football and baseball, and they said that um, you know most of the time I'll lift with football, but during baseball like that'll be they'll have like a set program for me, like a different program where I'll be doing more baseball lifts at the football workouts and kind of like a mix.
So I've talked to several of the uncommitted guys from 2023 that Notre Dame's looking to add to that impressive class. And the one thing that sticks out from all of them is they talk about the energy is different, under this new regime. Do you feel that? And what has caused you guys, the guys that have committed to the 2023 class already, what's the driving force behind your camaraderie and making you guys want to go out there and really be at the forefront of the recruiting process?
So yeah, I really think it starts from the top down. I think Coach Freeman coming in brought a different type of energy that maybe they haven't seen in a while, and so then it just kind of trickled down through everybody else. And so, us being committed, we all know we're going to play with each other and we're going to be brothers. So, that's kind of how we've started to grow together. We talk a lot. I know I talk to Peyton Bowen a lot more, and then started talking to Christian Gray, trying to work on him and stuff like that. But we're all just we want to be the best. We want to compete. We want to put Notre Dame over the edge and get to that national championship again. But we also know that there's more to life than just football, and so I think that's what a lot of us liked in Notre Dame was I know we loved Coach Freeman. We loved the energy he brought to the defense. The other coaches like Coach Bowden, Coach O'Leary, stuff like that. But I think education was a big priority to all of us, but we also want to be able to compete at the highest level.
So when you talk about guys like Adon and you talk about Brennan and Keon and some of the impressive defensive guys that are already committed to the class, and you talk about you reaching out to Christian and talking to Peyton, who's committed as well, how you divvy that up? Do you guys sit down and say, like, Notre Dame coaches to say, we have the North, you got the Northeast, you got the Southwest? Or is it just based upon just natural conversation and relationships that you guys have built up just knowing each other over the years?
So yeah, we'll like the coaches will text us, like, we want you to start, talking to this guy, maybe like start just get to know him, stuff like that, because they're recruiting him. So they want us to get to know them more, like build that relationship from a player to player. Like, I'm committed, so I can talk a little bit about what made me commit to Notre Dame and stuff like that. So you just get more personal with them. That's kind of how me and Peyton Bowen grew our friendship. I never pushed. Obviously, like, oh yeah, I want you from Notre Dame. Like, I
Right.
think it's a great fit, but I never pushed him to do anything. So I think just having that relationship with him really just helped in the recruiting process.
So when someone contacts you and you talk to someone that is not committed yet, what's the first question that you might get from someone that's not committed to the class in your experience of talking to these guys that haven't committed yet?
I think usually it's like, why did you commit to Notre Dame? That's most of the time, and usually I answer just with, I love the coaches, I love the campus. It what helps for me is that it's close to home. So that's what a big thing for me was that it's close to home. But I have a great relationship with the coaches, the other committed players. We're all like a family there. So that's a huge thing for me is that we all feel like brothers and we're connected.
Well, I know from speaking to you leading up to this interview that you're very goal oriented and you have a schedule and you stick to that schedule and it's regimented. So lay out your goals for the rest of your junior season and your senior season, baseball, football. What things do you want to accomplish on and off the field that you haven't yet?
I right now I have a lot of lifting goals. Like I want to be able to bench over 300, squat over 550. Clean's a big one for me right now. I want to get 315, and I'm 5 pounds away. So that's another big one. Then deadlift, I want to get to 500. So those are all my like lifting goals. And then when it comes to baseball, in high school, I had an okay high school season last year, so I just want to improve on that. I want to become all state, all area, be able to get those kind of credentials from other people for baseball, like I have in football. But and then when it just comes to travel baseball, I just want to go out there and compete. I had a pretty good summer last year, so I want to build on that and keep having a really good summer. We're going to compete in a lot of big tournaments, so a lot of competition. So I think that'll be good. And then next year for football, I want to obviously win Gatorade Player of the Year again for Indiana. Hopefully get to the National Gatorade Player of the Year. And then we have Mr. Football in Indiana, and that's like a big one that I want to get. I was in the running, but it's more of a senior year award. So I want to get to that next year, and then hopefully get another All-State or an All-State in a state championship.
So I'm from the south side of Chicago, but I'm also familiar. Eventually in college, we moved out to Crete, Illinois, so I'm very familiar with the Northwest Indiana area. And so my favorite spot to go to breakfast is a spot called Avgo. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But
Avgo, yes, sir. Yeah. That's like 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, the carrot cake pancakes. That's my go-to. That's my go-to every time I go. So for you, give me your favorite places to go with your family, man, when you're just spending time and just chilling out.
Usually we go to Buffalo Wild Wings a lot. That's a big spot for our family. We watch the sports there, and then we usually have some pretty good food. But that place, and then we go to Avgo usually for breakfast, and then another place we'll go to is called La Quesadilla.
Okay.
So it's Mexican food. So we get tacos every Tuesday. It's like a discount they do on Tuesdays only. So we'll go there on Tuesdays and eat as a family.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. My parents, they love Theo's as well. They like to go there for dinner. So I'm gonna have to check both of those places out. Now, baseball and football, we talk about the difference in the preparation and how you live and prepare your body. Mentally, is there one that has been more of a challenge for you, or that you feel like football is more difficult than baseball, or for different reasons, are they both very difficult sports to play?
I would say they're both very difficult sports to play. Just kind of the preparation for each is a little different. With football, there's the mental side leading up to the game and the physical side. Whereas baseball, it's not as much physical; it's more mental. You got to be locked in for 3 hours of a game. When in football, you got to be locked in for an hour, but you spent all that time leading up to it, watching film, going over plays, practicing. So that's a lot of it. It makes it easier during the game, but baseball it's a lot of failure too. So you may not be succeeding the way you want to. Where in football, you messed up one play, you can go next play, you're right back in it. So I think there's a lot of differences that make them each unique and hard to do. But I love both of them. So
did you get a chance to watch the national championship game on Monday night?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty intense game, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, it was.
The trenches were something else. I was like, yo, I don't think I've seen a national championship game where both teams were hitting each other as hard as they were hitting Did you pull anything from that as you look forward and you talk about the camaraderie you have with the 23 class and what you guys want to build and ultimately get Notre Dame over the hump and to that level? Did you pull anything from watching that game on Monday night?
They're both great teams. Georgia and Alabama are always, top of the line. Everybody wants to beat them, be them. Um, but they were just hitting hard. They were playing aggressive. I watched Nakobe Dean. He's one of the best linebackers in college football. So I loved watching him. And he goes out there. He plays accountable. He makes sure his teammates are accountable. I don't know if you saw, but the one play where the pass breakup, he's going nuts on the guy. I think that's something that I like is that he holds his players accountable. But then the dude made the play. The next play, he sacks Bryce Young, and he's the first one over there celebrating with them. So I think that's one thing that I took away is that you can be the accountable, make sure your teammates are accountable, but also be the first one to celebrate with them when they make a play. So that leadership, player accountable leadership is a big thing.
Is that a role you see yourself playing when you ultimately take the field at Notre Dame, being a leader on that defensive side of the ball?
Yes, sir.
So you talk about Nakobe Dean on the college level. Is there anybody in the professional level that you model your game after?
No. When I was younger, I used to watch Luke Kuechly. He was a big one. I loved watching him. And then Bobby Wagner right now. I love watching him play the game.
Well, wild card weekend in the NFL.
Yes,
the Bears are out of it. Anybody that you're pulling for in particular?
The Cowboys. My dad was born in Texas, so we've always been Cowboys fans our entire lives. So, Tony Romo, we watched him when they lost to the Packers. So we're hoping that they get over the hump, beat the Packers for one time.
Well, you know what? That's going to be a tough matchup with the 49ers. I have to be honest.
Yep.
I was looking at it. I was like, yo, I'm a Cowboys fan, by the way, as well. And I was looking at the matchups, and I was like, that's the one team that I don't want to see because of the trenches. They're good along both fronts. And the tight end and Deebo Samuel scares me to death, no matter where he lines up. So that's going to be a good matchup. And the AFC side, I'm excited to see the young guns like Joe Burrow get their opportunity. So just like you, I'll be watching. Before I go, and I thank you for giving us some time on Irish Breakdown, we talked about the recruits that you've been talking to. Do you get a chance when the coaches call you and they say, you know what, check this guy out, get in contact with him? Do you sneak and watch film and say, let me see this guy before I give him a call and see what he looks like on film?
So yes, sometimes I do. I like watching their film, seeing how they would fit in. But I trust our coaches, who they get. But sometimes I do watch their film, see how they would fit, how kind of what I can talk to them about, what position. Especially like this linebacker position that I've talked to Coach Freeman, Coach Bowden about. I can kind of talk to them about it, see what they think about something. But I trust them and how they recruit. And then they tell me to talk to a guy. I'm gonna start talking to them, and hopefully we get them at Notre Dame.
So how often do you still talk to the coaching staff?
About once or twice a week, I do.
And do you tap in with them just strictly talking recruiting, or is it more just about checking in on you, seeing how you're feeling, and what's going on in your life?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's usually more about checking in, see what's going on, but some of it is recruiting, see who we can get, who we want to get, stuff like that.
So Irish Breakdown, that is 2023 linebacker commit Drayk Bowen right here for you on Irish Breakdown. Drayk, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. We'll be tapping back in with you in the coming months, and we look forward to you having a successful baseball season. Stay healthy, stay safe, and as always, go Irish.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Go Irish.
Absolutely.